We begin today the Gemara on Daf Mem Gimel Amud Beis, 15-20 lines up from the bottom of the Yamud, at the end of the line where it says Ki Asa Ravdimi. The Gemara continues to discuss the halachas of the payment of kaifer when a shayr gores and kills a person. Ki Asa Ravdimi Yomer Rabbi Yechanan. So he said in the name of Rabbi Yechanan, the pasuk when it says kaifer, it could have said in the pasuk kaifer, that you pay kaifer. Matamad loima im kaifer. Why does it say if you would place the payment of kaifer? The word im is extra. L'rabbis, what it's coming to add is kaifer shaloi b'kavana ka kaifer b'kavana. That you pay kaifer whether the shayr gored and killed someone b'chavana or whether it gored and killed someone shaloi b'chavana. What's the difference? When the shayr kills someone b'chavana, the shayr itself has to be put to death. The shayr is chayiv skila. So then, if the shayr is chayiv skila, you pay kaifer. The chiddush of Rabbi Yechanan is even if the shayr itself did it shaloi b'chavana and the shayr does not have to be put to death, you still pay kaifer. Now this is a machlokes. This is what Rabbi Yechanan says there, but we had before in the Gemara in Amar Aleph, Rabbi disagrees. Rabbi holds you only pay kaifer if the shayr is put to death. Okay, so this is Rabbi Yechanan who learns from im kaifer that no, kaifer is not dependent on whether the shayr is put to death. Amalei Abaye, so Abaye said to Rav Dimi based on this drasha, Se'ela meyata, if so, shouldn't we say the same drasha by an eved? By the eved, if you go and kill an eved, you pay shloishim skalim, slaim or shkalim. So what does it say by the eved? Eved nami matamad loima im eved. Over there, it also uses the extra word of im. If an eved will be gored, im eved yigeh chasher. So l'rabba is eved shaloi b'chavana keved b'chavana. There you should darshan as well that if the shayr gored and killed this eved, whether it was b'chavana or shaloi b'chavana, either way you should pay the knas of the 30 slaim. Says the Gemara, and it will say, yeah, true. According to Rabbi Yechanan, you darshan the word im there as well, the same way. Says the Gemara, but V'amer Reish Lakish said, Shei Shemis Eved Shaloi B'Chavana, a shayr that Gordon killed the Eved unintentionally, Patim Shleishim Shkalim. You don't pay those 30 Shkalim. So why don't you darshan the word im there? Amalei, so Rav Dimi answered, Gavre Karamis. You're asking me a question on what I quoted the name of Rabbi Yechanan, one person, from another person, from what Reish Lakish said. It's not a contradiction, it's two different people. And Ki Asa Ravin, when Ravin came on Rabbi Yechanan, so he said in the name of Rabbi Yechanan, that Rabbi Yechanan Taka says that you darshan the word im, by Eved as well. Eved, Matamad Loimar, im Eved. It could have just said the word Eved. Why does it say im Eved? L'rabbis Eved Shaloi B'Chavana Keved B'Chavana. That by Eved as well, you pay the knas of Shloishim Shkalim, whether it was B'Chavana or Shaloi B'Chavana. So that's Rabbi Yechanan. So Reish Lakish disagrees though. Reish Lakish holds that by Eved you don't darshan this. So the Gemara explains why Reish Lakish disagrees. Well, Reish Lakish nami name. According to Reish Lakish, we should say mid the Eved im Eved again. Reish Lakish nami mid the Eved that he should darshan over there for the same drasha of Eved. Says the Gemara mid the Eved im Eved loy darish kaifer im kaifer nami loy darish. So if by Eved we see Reish Lakish holds that you don't darshan the extra word of im that it says by Eved, so if so, by Kaifer, where it says the extra word im, you shouldn't darshan it either. It seems like Reish Lakish only disagreed with Rabbi Yechanan regarding the extra word im that it says by Eved, but not the extra word that it says by Kaifer. Why not? So the Gemara explains, Amri, they answered as follows. Loi, it's not the same thing. Eved im Eved loy darish. The fact that the Torah could have written the word Eved, and it writes the extra word im, that it doesn't darshan. Kaifer, the fact that the Torah could have written the word kaifer, and then it writes im kaifer darish, that he does darshan. What's the difference? What's the difference? Because Eved im Eved, the extra word of im that it says by the Eved, like siv v'makim tashlumin. It doesn't say it when it talks about the payment. Where does it say it? The pasuk there says im Eved yigah chasher. If the Eved if the Eved gets gored by an ox, doesn't say the extra word im by the payment. So over there, that word im is not coming to darshan extra that you have to pay the shleishim shkalim, even if it was shalei b'chavana. Over there, it's just coming to say the story itself of what happened. This whole chiddush that by a Eved you pay the knas of 30 shkalim. The word im is not extra there. That's regarding Eved. But kaifer, im kaifer, when it could have said kaifer and it adds the extra word im kaifer, ksiv b'makom tashlumin. That it says by the payment. It says im kaifer yushas olav. Why does it say the word im over here? It already said that the shayr gored and killed, and therefore you have to pay the kaifer. Over here, the word im is extra. So over here, Reish Lakish says you do darshan the extra word im. That's the difference between Eved and a regular person that gets gored, and there's the payment of kaifer. Okay, now the Gemara goes back to what it said in the Mishnah regarding the payment of the kaifer. V'chein beben oy bebas. If a shor gores and kills a ben or bas, what that means is even a cotton or a katana, still you have to pay the kaifer. So the Gemara brings a brayso that goes through a whole long discussion of why it's necessary to have special pasuk to tell me that even if the shor kills a person, which is a cotton or a katana, you still chayiv for that. So Tana Rabbanon, it says in the Torah, oy ben yigach, oy bas yigach. If you gore and kill a ben or a bas, chayiv al ktanim kigdolim. The pasuk here is saying if the shor gored and killed, even if it kills a ktanim like gedolim, you chayiv the same payment of kaifer. Says the Gemara, what do you need this pasuk for? Can't I learn it out from the shor that gores b'chlal and other times that you see that it's chayiv? Or you can learn it out, actually, here the Gemara begins, actually it says you can learn it out from a person that kills someone else. V'haloi dinu, hoyel v'chayiv adam ba'adam. When one person kills another, so over there, v'chayiv shor ba'adam. And I also see that a shor that gores and kills a person, you also chayiv. So I could compare these two and say as follows: Ma'akesh chayiv adam ba'adam. Just like if one person kills another, loishna ben ketanim l'gdolim. It does make a difference. The chiyuv, this person's chayiv misa for killing, whether he kills a gadol or whether he kills a cotton, doesn't make a difference. Rashi here brings the pasuk. It says by a person that kills someone, ki yake kol nefesh. Kol nefesh means even a cotton. So afkesh chayiv shor ba'adam. So too a shor that gores and kills a person, lo tachlik by ben ketanim l'gdolim. I shouldn't make any difference whether the shor gored and killed a cotton or a gadol. I should compare the two. That's one point. Then the Gemara says furthermore, it's not only a comparison, I could actually make a kal v'chaimer that for sure when a shor gores and kills, you should be chayiv even if it was with a cotton. Because by a adam ba'adam, if the person that's killing, not the person that got killed, now the Gemara is talking about the person that's killing. Over here, we don't compare a cotton to a gadol. Right, and here Rashi brings the pasuk as well. It says, "V'ish kiyake." Only a person that's already above bar mitzvah, a gadol that kills, is chayiv misa, but a cotton that kills is not chayiv misa. So over there, the Torah is more lenient. But chayiv boilak tanim kigdolim. Nevertheless, regarding who you kill, if whether it was a cotton or a gadol, you're going to be chayiv either way. Shor ba'adam. If so, when it comes to an ox that Gordon killed a person. Here I see that the Torah is more stringent because regarding an ox that gores and kills, it doesn't make a difference the age of this ox. The ox could be a cotton like a gadol. An ox that's even 1 day old, Rashi brings here, is called is called a shor. Shor, the kesef ki yivala. The moment it's born, it's called a shor. So even 1 day old, this shor that gores and kills is chayiv misa. So give me a second. Ein it din shechayiv al aktanim kigdolim. Most definitely, I should say that over here, since I see the Torah is more stringent, that whether it gores and kills a cotton or a gadol, you should be chayiv the same. So the question then is, why is it necessary for the Torah to write the pasuk oy ben yigach, oy bas yigach, to say that you chayiv for a cotton like a gadol? So the Gemara says, you can't say this kal v'chaimer, because I'll show you that the adam, a human being that kills, is more stringent than an ox that gores and kills. Why? Because if you're trying to learn this out from a human being that kills someone, over there, besides the payment for the nezek, over there, not by killing, but when one human being injures another, over there we see the Torah is more machmer, because besides nezek, you have to pay tsar, ripui, sheves, and baishas, another 4 payments. When a shor gores and damages, you're not chayiv to pay all these modes of payment. So therefore, I can't learn out a shor that gores and kills from an adam that kills another, because by a shor it's more lenient. That's why Talmud Loima, the pasuk has to say, oy ben yigach, oy bas yigach, l'chayiv al aktanim k'daylim. To say that if a shor gores and kills, you are chayiv for killing a cotton just like a gadol. Okay, that's the first half of this brayse, which explains why you need this pasuk. Now the Brayse continues and says, I would only think that this pasuk that it says, ben yigach, bas yigach, which is talking about a muad. That's the context of the pasuk there. So maybe this halacha that if a gores and kills, that you have to put the shor to death and you have to pay kaifer. Maybe this is only by a muad. How do I know that the same applies if a shor tam gores and kills even a cotton? How do you know that the shor has to be put to death? Says the Gemara, seemingly you could compare it. You could compare it to the muad. How are you comparing it to the muad? Says the Brayse further, V'alei dinu. I could compare it as follows. This V'alei dinu is not a kal v'chaimer. This is a comparison. This is what's called a binyanav or a mematzinu. When you find the Torah writes one din, I compare one to another. So the Gemara is saying I could compare what the Torah says by the mu'id and say that the same applies to a tam. How? Hoyo v'chayev be'ish v'isha. I see that you chayiv by the mu'id, whether it's the ish that's mazik, whether the isha is mazik, and v'chayiv b'ben or b'bas. And you also chayiv whether it's a ben, whether it's a bas, whether it kills a ben or a bas. So therefore I say as follows: Kishachayev b'ish v'isha. This that the Torah says that you chayiv for ish or isha, lo chalakta by ben tam l'mu'id. So for this, so when it says ish v'isha, it means the ish or isha that got killed. Right, so when it comes to the ish and isha, you don't make any distinction between a tam and a mu'id regarding the fact that this behemoth that kills a ish or a isha will be chayiv skila. You're not making any distinction. So af kishachayiv beben ubas. So too, when the Torah says that if you kill a cotton, which is a ben or a bas, a cotton, so loy tachloik by ben tam l'mu'id. So too over here, you shouldn't make any distinction between a tam and a mu'id. That's one thing. So basically, we're learning out the tam from the mu'id. Just like regarding ish v'isha, there's no distinction between them. So too regarding ben and bas, you chayiv if you kill a cotton as well, and there's no difference between the tam and the mu'id. That's one point. That's, as I said, a mematzina. We're just comparing. Now, va'oid, additionally, the Brisa says kal v'chaymer. I can tell you that there's a kal v'chaymer to learn out the tam from the mu'id. How? Because ma ish v'isha, if when it comes to an ish and an isha. I see that the Torah says that their power when it comes to nizakin is weaker. Why is their power by nizakin weaker? Because if they damage someone, they have to pay. They lose their money. If they cause damage to someone else, they have to pay. But nevertheless, even though we see that their power regarding nizakin is weaker, nevertheless, you don't make a distinction between tam and mu'id. By tam and mu'id, if an ish and isha gets killed, the behemoth has to get killed either way. Even though this ish and isha have a weaker power, but nevertheless, but the Torah does not make a distinction by the tam and mu'id regarding them. Ben or bas sheyupa koichem benizakin. When it comes to a ben and a bas, they actually have a stronger power benizakin. In what way are they stronger by nizakin? So Rashi here brings, what we're talking about over here is a ben and a bas, which refers to a cotton. If they are mazik someone, they're potter. Right? As Rashi here brings, we had this before already, a cheres shayte v'cotton that cause damage to someone, they don't have to pay for that, because they're a cheres shayte v'cotton, pigiyos and ra, they don't have to pay. If someone damages them, you have to pay. But if they damage, you don't have to pay. So here we see that they have a stronger koicha regarding the zaken, that they're going to be potter to pay. They're sort of more protected by the Torah. So ain't it in, most definitely the halacha should be tam l'mu'id. You shouldn't make a distinction between tam and a mu'id, that if the behemoth gores and kills a cotton, you should be chayiv for this. We see that the Torah is giving them a stronger power regarding the zakin. So if you gore and kill a cotton, for sure the halacha should be that you shouldn't make a distinction between tam and a mu'id. Okay, till here is the lashon of the Brisa. Or maybe not, maybe this is the continuation of the Brisa. Okay, but now the Brisa continues, or maybe the Gemara asks on this, Amrit, but now the question on this is, again, we're trying to figure out how the halacha of if you kill a cotton, Yechayev applies not only by a mu'id, which is where the Torah writes it clearly, like ben yigach, bas yigach, but how it applies also by a tam. So now the Gemara asks on what it said here, and says that you can't learn it out the way we try to learn it out. Why? Because v'chi donin kal mechomor lahachmer olav. Could you learn out a case which is more lenient from a case which is more stringent in order to be machmer on the case which is more lenient? What's the Gemara asking? So Rashi here explains that what the Gemara is asking over here is, in the Brisa, it brought 2 points. First, the Brisa said there's a matzinu. We're going to compare the tam to the mu'id. Just like by the mu'id, we find that the Torah says yechayiv if it kills a cotton, so too by the tam, yechayiv if you kill the cotton. The Brisa says, just like regarding the mu'id, we don't make a distinction between ish v'isha and yechayiv. Also, if you kill a cotton, you apply the same by a tam. What the Gemara is asking now, though, is ultimately what you're doing is you're learning out the chiyuv by a tam from the chiyuv of a mu'id. But how can you do that? We always know mu'id is more chomer. There the Torah says yechayiv nezek shalem, and you pay from the best. Tam is always more lenient. How could you say that this halacha, that yechayiv, if the gesher kills a cotton, that you learn it out by a tam from a mu'id? A mu'id is more chomer. So again, v'chidon and kal, could you learn out the tam, which is more kal, michomer, from the mu'id, which is more chomer, lahachmer olav, to be machmer by the tam? You can't be machmer by the tam if you're learning it out from the mu'id. Im hechmer b'mu'id, hachomer, tachmer b'tam hakal? That's the first question. Now, va'oid, another question is, here the Gemara asks in the kal v'chomer. The Gemara before said a Kava Chaimer that you see that by a Ish v'Isha that the Torah doesn't protect the Ish v'Isha regarding the Zakin, that a Ish v'Isha that damage, you have less of a power, because if they damage you have to pay. But Yipa Koichai, by the Ben and the Bas, they're more protected by the Torah. If they damage, they don't have to pay. But the Gemara says that's not a good Kava Chaimer. Imamret be Ish v'Isha, regarding Ish v'Isha, if you damage or if you kill a Ish v'Isha, the reason why you're chayiv for that, you can chayavim b'mitzvahs, because they're already gedolim, so they're chayiv b'mitzvahs. That's why there you have to pay, or that's why over there the shayr has to be put to death if it kills them. Tayma beben obas shebeturim in a mitzvahs, ben and bas which are ketanim, they're put from mitzvahs. So who says over here you can learn out such a Kal V'Chaimer to say by the time that you'd be chayiv, that you have to put the shirt to death for killing a ben and bas which are potter from mitzvahs. So the Kal V'Chaimer we said before has this simple refutation over here. Ben and bas is not the same as the ish v'isha which are gedolim. So therefore says the Gemara, or this is the Braisa rather, that's continuing. It says Talmud Loimar. So this as well that we compare that this halacha that applies that says by the muad. It applies by the tam as well. It's also learned from the pasuk. We can't learn it from any Kal V'Chaimer. Talmud Loima, the pasuk says, Oy ben yigach, oy bas yigach. The Torah says the words yigach again twice over here, and they're both extra. Why is the Torah saying the words yigach again? Negiche betam, negiche b'muid. It's written extra to say whether this happened through a tam, whether it happened through a muid, or negiche l'mise, negiche l'nezakin, or whether the shar gored and killed, or whether the shar gored and damaged a person. Either way, you're going to be chayev, whether it's a tam, whether it's a muid. That's so. Therefore, you see from the extra words here in the pasuk that you're going to be chayev for this. Mishnah. This is continuing the halachis of kaifer, of paying kaifer, or also of the shar that gores and kills someone, that you have to put the shar to death. So here the Mishnah says that now what happens? The Mishnah shar shahayim mischakech bekaisel. This shar was rubbing itself on a wall. It's just trying to relieve its own pain. It's rubbing itself on the wall, and then v'nafal ala adam. As a result, this wall fell on a person that was on the other side of the wall. So it was unintentional. Or neskaven larigas abeimet. The shar had an intention. It was in the fight killing another animal. A person came there and unintentionally the person got killed. Or lekanani, the shar was trying to kill a guy, v'harik ben Yisrael, and the shar ended up killing a yid. Or lenefalim, the shar was gored and was going to kill a person which is not a viable person, a nefel. You're not chayiv, the shar is not chayiv skila for that. V'harik ben kayam, it ended up killing a person, a viable person. Potter. In all these cases, because what the shar did, it killed, was without kavana, you're going to be potter. Okay, so I said, now the Gemara brings right away that when the Mishnah says potter, what exactly are you potter from? Whenever a shar gores and kills, there are two things. The shar itself has to be put to death, and the person has to pay kaifer. When the Mishnah says potter, what exactly are you potter from over here in this Mishnah? Oma Shmuel says, Shmuel potter mi mise. What you potter from is mise, that the shar, because it did it shaloi b'chavana, does not have to be killed. But for chayiv b'kaifer, for kaifer, you're still going to be chayiv. Now this is like the opinion that we learned in the beginning of the Gemara that we started today, Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Yechanan learned out from the words im kaifer, the extra word kaifer, im, that it says that even in a case where shalei b'chavana and the shayt is not being put to death, but the payment of kaifer is still chayiv. But for Rava, however, says, when it says in our Mishnah potter mizeh or mizeh. You potter from both. If you potter from skila, if the shayt is potter from skila, the owner is potter to pay the kaifer. This is Rabbi's opinion that was brought earlier, that in the pasuk you see it puts both together, that potter goes on both. Okay, that's the machlokes regarding the potter in the Mishnah. But now the Gemara asks on the first case of the Mishnah. What was the first case in the Mishnah? The shayt was rubbing against the wall, and the wall fell and killed someone. So in that case, the Mishnah says that you're going to be potter. But for the Gemara, ve'amai, in such a case, according to Rav, sorry, not according to Rav, according to Shmuel, that is. Shmuel says that you potter from Misa, but you still chayiv to pay the kaifer. But the question is, why should you have to pay kaifer? Hatamu. When the shar did this, it's a tam. And what's the halacha by a shar tam that kills someone? You don't pay kaifer for that. You only pay kaifer if it's a shar mu'id. So over here, what happened? It seems like that this is a case of a tam. Right, and the Gemara is asking this specifically on the first case of the Mishnah. In the other cases where the shar is wild, it's trying to gore one ox, and it ends up killing a person, in those cases we see that the shar is wild, and that's probably a shar mu'id. But in the first case of the Mishnah, the Gemara understands this at this point. The shar was not a wild shar, it's just uncomfortable, it's just rubbing itself against the wall. It ended up falling and killing someone, so it's a shar tam. It's not a muad to kill people. So how could there be a chiyuv of kaifer over here according to Shmuel? Answers the Gemara, Kedama Rav, we could answer here similar to something that Rav said later here in this Pedic. B'muad lipol al b'nei adam b'bayris. There, it talks about a shur that fell into a bear. There was a person that was inside a bear, and the shur falls into a bear and it kills the person. So over there, you also chayiv to pay. And over there, Rav says the case is that the shur is a muad that it fell into a bear already 3 times, and therefore it's a muad for that. So hachanami over here, we could also say b'muad l'schakich al b'nei adam b'chsalim. That over here, this shirt is a muad that it rubs up against the wall, and it already happened 3 times that it killed a person. So therefore, it's going to be a muad for this. That this shirt does this in this way, and therefore it becomes a muad for this. Frak the Gemara, but if that's the case, if so, why is the Mishnah saying that you potter? It means, in other words, that the shirt is a muad to do this. It sees that there's a person there, and it's b'chavana rubbing against the wall to push down the wall to kill the person. So then if it's b'chavana, you should be chayiv, the shirt itself should be chayiv skila as well. So the Gemara now explains, Bishloimo Hasam, over there where Rav spoke about the case where the shirt falls into a pit. So what happened over there is, the chazi yeruke v'nofel. The shirt saw a vegetable that it wanted to eat, and then it fell into the pit. So that happened 3 times. So therefore over there, it only fell into the pit because it saw the vegetable. So over there, even though it happened 3 times, so it's already a muad for that, but at the same time though, it's shaloi b'chavona, because it didn't want to kill the person, it just wanted to eat the vegetable. Over here though, what are you going to say? If the shar did this 3 times it's rubbing itself against the wall and it kills the person. Doesn't that mean that the shar b'chavona is trying to kill the person? So the Gemara says no. Hachanami here as well. What happened is the shar is rubbing itself against the wall just for its own hana, to relieve its own pain that it has. That's it, and it's not trying to kill the person. And this happened 3 times. If it happened 3 times, you chayiv to pay the kaifer, but because it didn't have kavanah to kill the person, it's going to be potter from skila. Now the Gemara explains, how do we know that the shar was doing it for its own hana? It wasn't trying to kill anybody. The basa denofel comes chakich pei, because you see that even after the wall fell, the shar continues to rub itself against these stones. The wall already fell on this person, so we see that it's only doing it for its own hana. It's not doing it because it wants the stones to fall and kill this person. Now the Gemara has another shaila regarding this case that Shmuel said that you'd be chayiv to pay for the kaifer, but why you chayiv to pay kaifer? Ve'akati, but still I could ask you another question. Tzroidis ninu. This is still just a case of tzroidis. Am I closing the word? Yes, it's still a case of tzroidis. What's the Gemara asking? Why is this a case of tzroidis? Because the shayr did not kill the person directly with its own horns. If you remember, what did we learn before in the Masechta about tzroidis? Anytime the shayr causes a damage indirectly by kicking a pebble that ends up damaging something, that's what's called tzroidis. It's the koyach of the shayr. It's not the shayr itself. Over here as well, it pushed the wall, and the wall fell and killed the person. So this is only the koyach of the shayr. So if it's tzroidis, according to Rashi, the simple pshat of the Gemara is, it's asking the halacha of paying kaifer should not apply by tzroidis at all. Other Rishonim learned that the Gemara is asking that by tzroidis, the Gemara said before that you pay chatzi nezek. So over here you should have to pay chatzi kaifer. But Shmuel said that you pay the full kaifer. Why are you paying the full kaifer here? Amar Mari Berei Rav Kahane. No, over here it's not tzroidis because the ka'azal minei uminei. This shayr that pushed down this wall, the stones that fall on this person and kill him, it all comes directly from the shayr. The shayr pushes down the wall and it continues walking and it continues pushing the stones on this person until mamish the person dies. So it's all happening mamish directly from the body of the shayr itself. That's not like tzroidis where a pebble flies out and the pebble does the damage after it flies out. Over here it's mamish the shayr itself that's doing it. Says the Gemara, Tanya Kvasei the Shmuel, we learned in a Braise, like what Shmuel said, that even though you potter from the shayrs, potter from skila, but the payment of kaifi is still chayiv for this. And the Tiyuf to the Rav, it refutes what Rav says. What does it say in the Braise? The Braise says there are 4 possibilities. Yesh, there's a case where chayiv b'misa, the shayr is chayiv misa, ubekaifer, and the owner has to pay kaifer as well. V'yesh chayiv bekaifer, there's a case where you chayiv in kaifer, but a potter b'misa, the shayr does not have to be put to death. V'yesh chayiv b'misa, there's a case where the shayr has to be put to death, but a potter and a kaifer, you don't pay kaifer. And then v'yesh potter mizeh mizeh. There's a case where you potter from both, from paying kaifer and from misa as well. The Braisa says all 4 cases, and here we'll see clearly not like Rav. So how do you have this? Mu'ed b'kavana. If you have a shayr that's already a mu'ed, and it killed someone b'chavana, so in such a case, chayiv misa, the shayr has to be put to death, or b'kaifer, and the owner has to pay kaifer for this. But if it's a case of mu'ed shaloi b'chavana, The mu'ed, the animal is a mu'ed already, but it killed shalei b'chavana. In such a case, you're going to be chayev b'kaifer. You have to pay the kaifer because it was a mu'ed, but a potter mimisa, because the animal gored and killed shalei b'chavana, you potter from misa. So here you see clearly, like Shmuel said, that even though it's potter from misa, it's chayev in the kaifer. And then you have the case of a tam b'chavana. The animal is still only a tam, but it killed b'chavana. In such a case, chayev b'misa. The animal killed, it's chayev misa. But a potter mi kaifer. By a tam, there is no kaifer, so you potter from the kaifer. And if it's a tam, shaloi b'chavana, if it's both a tam and the animal killed shaloi b'chavana, then you're going to be potter mizeh mizeh. It's potter from misa, and you also potter to pay from the kaifer. Now the Gemara brings the continuation of the Braisa. The Braisa goes on to say, what's the halacha regarding nizokin? V'ha nizokin shaloi b'chavana. If an animal gores and damages a person shaloi b'chavana, what's the halacha here? So Rabbi Yehuda mechayev. Rabbi Yehuda says you chayev for these damages, even though the animal did it shalei b'chavana. And with Rav Shimon paiter, Rav Shimon says you potter. There's a machlokes Rishonim about this piece of Gemara here. Some Rishonim say that this machlokes of Rabbi Yehuda and Rav Shimon only applies to a shor that gores and damages a person shalei b'chavana. Then there's a machlokes whether you chayev a potter. But if a shor gores and damages a person's property shalei b'chavana, for that you're for sure going to be chayev. Just like you find by shein v'regel. Shein v'regel, the animal tramples or the animal eats. It's not trying to damage. Shalei b'chavana, but still you're chayev over there. So over there the Gemara doesn't have any machlokes about this. But there are other Rishonim that say that it is talking about a shor that's goring with its horns, not only killed by a person, but any kind of damage with his horns when it damages someone's property, that is the machlokes of Rabbi Yehuda and Rav Shimon, whether you'll be chayev if that goring happens, shalei b'chavana. Now the Gemara explains the basis of this machlokes of Rabbi Yehuda and Rav Shimon. My time with Rabbi Yehuda, what's the basis for Rabbi Yehuda's opinion that says that you'll be chayiv if the damage happens shalei b'chavana? Yalef mi kaifrei. He learns it out from the payment of kaifer when it killed a person. Ma kaifer shalei b'chavana chayiv. Just like the kaifer, even though you don't put the animal to death, but you have to pay the kaifer if it killed shalei b'chavana. Afani zakin. So two damages that it caused nami shalei b'chavana chayiv. Even when it happens shalei b'chavana, you still chayiv for that. That's the comparison Rabbi Yehuda says. Rab Shimon. Yalef mikatoli the shor. Rab Shimon that says you potter if the nezek happens shalei b'chavana. He learns it out from the halacha regarding the shor itself, that it has to be put to death, and that is ma katle shalei b'chavana potter. Just like when it comes to putting the shor to death, if it killed someone shalei b'chavana, you don't put the shor to death. Nizak shalei b'chavana potter. So to any damages that it does shalei b'chavana, you'll be potter to pay for that. The Gemara goes further to explain what is the machlokes, whether I compare it to the payment of the kaifer or I compare it to the skila of the shor. For Rabbi Yehuda nami neilev mikatoli. According to Rabbi Yehuda, why don't I learn out the halacha from the death of the shor that you have to put it to death, that b'shalei b'chavana you potter from that? So Rabbi Yehuda will answer you, donin tashlumin mitashlumin. I compare one payment from another payment. I compare the payment from the nezek to the payment by kaifer. That makes more sense. But I don't learn out the payment from misa, from the misa of the shor. On the other hand, so according to Rab Shimon, why did you learn out from the payment of kaifer? So Rab Shimon will answer you, I learn out the obligation of the payment by nezek from the obligation of what you have to do with the shor itself. That's what I'd compare to each other. But la'afuke kaifer, but I don't want to learn out from the payment of kaifer. Why not? The chiyuve de bailamu. The payment of the kaifer is a different kind of payment. What's the payment of kaifer? It's as a kapara. It's as an atonement for the bailam themselves for what they allowed to happen, that their shor Gordon killed a person. Since that's a kapara for the bailam himself, so he doesn't learn out the payment of the nezek, which is the payment for the damages of what the shor did. So that he says you compare it to the ketale, to the death of the shor for the fact that it killed a person, and therefore you compare them to say that you'd be potter. Okay, the Gemara goes to the next case that it said in the Mishnah. The skaven ladik is a behema. If an animal gored and it intended to kill another animal, but v'harik is adam, and then unintentionally it killed a person, so in such a case, potter. The animal is potter from skila. Says the Gemara, we could be medayik from the Mishnah, but if it's a case where this animal wanted to kill a human being, wanted to kill one person, but it ended up killing another person, not the one that it intended to kill, chayiv. It will be chayiv. You only potter if it didn't want to kill a person at all. It wanted to kill another animal, and it ended up killing a person. Says the Gemara, Masnisin the Loiker Rab Shimon. So our Mishnah that says in such a case you would be chayiv when it wanted to kill one person, and it ended up killing another, this is not like what Rab Shimon says. Tanya, we learned in the Braisa. Rab Shimon says, Afila, Neskaven, Lara Gezeh, Vahara Gezeh, the animal wanted to gore and kill one person and ended up killing another. Pater, the animal is pater from skila. Says the Gemara, my time with the Rab Shimon. What's the source of Rab Shimon's din? The Amakra, because the pasuk says, Hasher Yisokol, the Gambal of Yumos. The pasuk says that the shur is chayiv skila and the owner should be put to death as well. Now, simply when the pasuk says bal of Yumos, it only means misa b'dei shemayim. But nevertheless, Rab Shimon compares the two and he darshans as follows. Kimisas bailim, just like the person himself, when a person kills someone, the halacha of when he's chayiv misa, kach misa sasher. The same halacha applies also to the shur when the shur kills someone. And therefore we say, ma bailim, just like by a person himself, adam achavan that a person is only chayiv misa if he killed someone intentionally and he wanted to kill this person. Afshar nami adam achavan. A shar is only chayiv skila when it had killed the person that it intended to kill. Now the Gemara now this itself is actually not so simple. This itself is a machlokes. If one person kills another and he killed someone that he didn't intend to kill, he wanted to kill Reuven and he ended up killing Shimon, are you chayiv misa for that? So the Gemara brings Rab Shimon holds that you're not going to be chayiv misa. Where's the source for this? Ubailam gufayu minolan. A person himself that he intends to kill one and he ends up killing another, how do you know that it'll be pater from this? Because the Amakra, the pasuk says, v'orav loy v'kamalov. That it's only if a person was aiming to kill this person, then he's chayiv misa, which is achi iskaven loy. So if he has an intention to kill Reuven and he ends up killing Shimon, you're going to be pater. So that's the comparison that you say, that the same is by the shur. If the shur wanted to kill one person and he ended up killing another, you're going to be pater. Says
how do you know what the shur wants?
By the shur, you see in how it's fighting, that it was in a fight with one person and another person comes and gets involved, and you can tell.
That's why it was still okay.
Says the Gemara, the Rabbanan disagree with this. The Rabbanan hold not only by a shur that you'll be pater if it intended to kill one and it kills another, but by a person as well. If a person intends to kill one and ends up killing another, by a person you'll be pater for that. So the Rabbanan, according to the Rabbanan, what do they learn out from this pasuk where it seems to be saying clearly only if you aim to kill this person are you chayiv? By Rabbi Yanai, they explained Prat, that according to the Rabbanan, that pasuk is coming to say, when are you pater? Only it excludes a case, l'zoyrek even l'goy. If a person throws a rock into a crowd of people, so in such a case, you didn't have intention that it should kill a yid, so in such a case, you're going to be pater, because you just threw a rock into a crowd of people. But if a person there were two people, and he aimed to kill one, and he ended up killing another, in such a case, he will be chayiv. So now the Gemara explains, what is this case of the person that threw a rock into a crowd of people? Hey Chidami, what is this case over here? This is the case that the Rabbanan say you'll be pater. If you're going to say the case over here is the Iketisha Kananim, it's a crowd of people and it's mostly Goyim. There are 9 Goyim there. Ve'echad Yisrael b'neim. There's only one Yid between them. So for this, you need a pasuk to say that if you throw a rock into such a crowd of people, you'll be pater. You don't need a pasuk. Typically, the Rubik Kananim nenu. You know that you're pater because it's mostly Goyim here. That's why you're pater. Says the Gemara, Inami, Palge. Now if you're going to tell me that this is a crowd of people that's half Yidden and half Goyim, you also don't need a special pasuk that you pater if you throw a rock into such a crowd. Because Safik Nefashis Lahakal. Since it's half and half, so when you throw the rock, it could land on a Yid. It could land on a Goy equally. So it's a Safik Nefashis. Did this person intend to kill a Yid or a Goy? It's a Safik because it's half and half. So how could you kill this Yid for doing such a thing? You don't need a pasuk here to say that he's pater. Says the Gemara, you know what the drasha of the Rabbanan was in the following case. It's a case of a crowd of people that it's mostly Yidden. There's 9 Yidden here. There's only one guy amongst them. So it's mostly Yidden. So in such a case, if it's mostly Yidden and a person throws a rock into such a crowd that could kill someone, what would you say? That his intention was to kill a Yisraeli, and therefore you should be chayiv for this. But Kivin, the Ikke Chada Kanani Benayu, since there's one guy amongst them, Havale Kavua. Now that guy that's amongst them, where is this taking place? This is taking place in a place where this is the stationary place of where the guy lives. It's in his courtyard. It's a place where the guy is in a Kavua. Right, so this is the halacha of Kavua. Usually the halacha is we always follow Reiv, unless you have something which is in its stationary place, and then it neutralizes the Reiv. You don't follow Reiv anymore. And V'chol Kavua, any time you have even a minority, but if it's in its stationary place, it becomes like Kemechza al Mechzadami. It becomes like it's half and half. It's as if it's half Yid and half Goyim here. And therefore, in such a case, when the Yid threw the rock into this crowd, that's what the pasuk is saying. You're going to be potter. The Savik Nefashas Lahakal, that we're going to be Mekla, we're going to say that when he threw the rock into this crowd, maybe he intended to kill the guy. And the Va'ad of Loi, only if he intended to kill a Yid, then he's Chai, but in such a case, you're going to be potter. That's the drasha of the Rabbanan. Rashi actually says the whole halacha that's brought in the Shas many times, that kol kavur kemechza mechzadami, the source of that pasuk halacha is from this pasuk. It's learned that also regarding meat. When you find meat, if you find it in the street, you go by reiv. But if you went into a store, it's a makom kavur where the meat is. Over there, it's kavur kemechza mechza. The source of it is from this pasuk. Zakt heilige Mishnah, shayre isha v'shayre yisaimim. A shayre that belongs to a woman. She's not the real owner of this shayre. She's married. Shayra Yisaimim, the shayr that belongs to Yisaimim. So also Yisaimim, this is talking about Yisaimim that don't have an apotropis, and they're Yikatanim, they don't have the ability to guard the shayr at all. Or shayra apotropis. And in another case, there's a shayr that has a caretaker, the apotropis is taking care of the shayr, but he doesn't guard it properly. Shayra midbar, a shayr that's just in a desert, which means it's a shayr that's hefker. Or shayra hektish, shayr that belongs to hektish. Or shayra ger, shemeis ve'en lo yoshin. A shayr that belonged to a ger that died and he has no relatives to inherit him, which is also a shayr of hefker. In all of these cases, if this shayr gores and kills someone, even though they don't have a real proper owner that can guard them, still, if this shayr kills someone, you have to put the shayr to death. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Shayr midbar, a shayr that's hefker, shayr hektish, shayr that belongs to hektish, also doesn't have a real ownership of any individual. Or shayr hager shemes, the shayr from a ger that died. And so also another case where there's no owner, peturim and amisa lefishen lem bailim. In these cases, it's going to be potter from misa because there's no owner. The shayr isha and shayr yisaimim, or the apotropis over there, even though there's no proper person to guard the shayr, but it has the owner. So over there, we'll be chayiv misa. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it says in the pasuk that v'huad bevalav, it has to be, or v'gambalav yumos. There has to be an owner. If there's no owner, there's no chayiv misa. So the Gemara brings the Braisa over here, Tan Rabbanon Shor Shiva. It says in the Torah, in this parsha where it talks about the shor that gores, it says 7 times the term shor. And out of the 7 times, 6 of them are extra. Because the first time the Torah said shor, the rest of the times it didn't have to say the word shor again. So why does it say 6 extra times shor? Lahavi, it's coming to say regarding all the cases that the Mishnah just mentioned that the shayr is still going to be chayiv misa. Lahavi shayr isha, shayr yisaimim, shayr apotropis, shayr midbar, shayr hektish, shayr ger, meis shemeis ve'en lo yarishim. In all these cases, you may think that there's no proper owner to guard it. That still it's going to be chayiv misa. That's a Tanna Kama like we learned in our Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. He doesn't learn out from any of these extra terms shayr in the Torah. Rabbi Yehuda says it depends if there's an owner or not. Because in these 3 cases, they have no owner, because they have no owner, like we learned in the Mishnah. Now, Rav Huna added to this, Rabbi Yehuda that said this rule, if there's no owner, then there's no misa for the shayr. That was even in a case, even if it gored, and while it gored, there was an owner, but after it gored, the owner went and was makdish it, or nagach, it gored, and after it gored, the owner went and declared this animal ownerless, it became hefker, it's going to be potter from misa. From where do we see that Rabbi Yehuda held that even if you were mafkir it afterwards, that now has no owner, you're going to be potter? Because in our Mishnah it says tarti. It says 2 examples of a case where the shayr is hefker. One example was shayr midbar, and the other example was v'shayr geir shemeis ve'en lo yarshin. Why does the Mishnah have to say both of these examples? Shayr ger shemeis ma'niu. What's this case of the shayr that belonged to a ger that died, and that you're saying that it's potter? It's the same thing. It's the same thing as hefker. The kiv in the ein lo yarshin, havale shayr hefker, because it has no yarshin, so therefore it's hefker. If sahaina shayr midbar, it's the same thing as shayr midbar. Why is the Mishnah saying a second case, which is the same thing? So again, it goes together. The shayra midbar and shayra ger shemeis ve'en lo yarshin are both the same thing. So why is it saying both of these cases? Elalav, says the Gemara, this is what it's coming to say. It's coming to say that this ger owned the shayr, and then he died afterwards, after the shayr gored. That's when the ger died. So from here we can learn out that a person that owned the shayr and it gored, but even after he owned it, after it gored, that is, he was makdish it, or he was mafkir it, still you're going to be potter. Shma mina, this is what Rabbi Yehuda says. The Gemara brings a brayse that says the same thing. Tanya nami hachi yeser al kain amar Rav Yehuda, more than what it said in the Mishnah. Rav Yehuda said in the brayse, afil nagach ulebesay fiktish. Even if it gored and you were the owner, and only afterwards you were makdish it. Nagach ulebesay fifker. Potter. In both of these cases, you'll be potter. Shenema, because the pasuk says v'huad b'ba'olav v'hemis v'gaimer. In the continuation of the pasuk, it says v'hemis, and there it says gam ba'olav yumos. So what you learn out of it there is achetehei mise v'hamada bedin shavin kechad. That you have to still be the owner of the shayr when it gored and when you come to the din Torah. You have to still be the owner. Only then is the shayr going to be chayiv mise. Now the Gemara adds another detail to this. Gemara din loy bi'inon. It says when you come to the din Torah, you still have to be the owner. How about at the conclusion of the din Torah, when they give the psak? Do you still have to be the owner? The person can chaparain and be mafke the shayr or be makdish the shayr before the psak din, and then the shayr won't be chayiv misa. You don't have to. He doesn't have to be the part of by the Gemara din. In the pasuk of the it's mashma that the vehemis v'gam bal of yumos which hashar yisakol means after the psak din. V'ha hashar yisakol Gemara dinu. So in the pasuk it says that you still have to be the owner even by the psak din. So no, the way to read the brayse is only if the person is the owner when it gored, when it was the din Torah, when it was the psak din, then it has to be put to death. But if he's mafkir it or if he's makdish it before then it won't have to be put to death.